are the things we'll be working with. Where our trouser will start from, which is 18 for me, round of that point is 31.5. My hip is 40.5, the circumference of my hip. My hip point is 26.5, and my trouser length is 40. This is going to be our center line. The trouser length is 40 inches, and my waistband is going to be 1.5 inches wide. We're going to be taking away 1.5 inch from our 40 inches and use that to take our measurement. To mark half inch at my top. You could use paper to draft this. I'll be doing my hip divided by 4 plus 2, and that will give us 12.1. So I'll be marking 12.1 here. The reason why I did this is I did my hip divided by 4. I added 1 inch allowance that I'll use to sew both sides of the trousers, and then 1 inch so that I can have ease on my hip area. So from there, we're going to be measuring our hip point. So this is what I do. Remember, we said the waistband is 1.5. So this is what I'll do. This is 18, where my waist is supposed to start from. So this is 1.5. I'm going to be placing this here at 19.5. Mark my hip point, which is 26.5. And then connect whatever we had at the waist down. The reason why is the waist and hip is the same is because of we're going to be pleating the waist area. Next thing we are going to be doing is getting our crotch depth. This is a free band, so I'll be using 3 inches. This is the reason why I would say your hip point is very important. With this now, I'm going to be doing here to here divided by 4. You can do it this way, or you can do it with your calculator. So I got 3, so I'm going to be marking 3 here. From this hip point, have a curve that comes right down here, right? From the crotch depth point to the curve should be nothing more than 1 inch and nothing less than 1 inch for a perfect curve. This is to my opinion. I'll be taking in ½ inch here. I do not want that gaping feel, so I'm taking it in by, I'm creating a slant by 0.5 inch here, and also I'll be coming down by 0.5 inch. It is very important. So this is what I'll be doing. Bear in mind that your waistband is supposed to be a 1.5, and measure all the way to what you want your full length to be. So since mine is 40 and I would love to extend, what I'll do is I'll find out what this point is. My crotch depth is at 11.5. So with that, I can readjust, and instead of working with it from this point, I'd rather work with it from here. So 11.5 down. Our crotch depth is 11.5. We're going to be marking 40. We're going to 8. I measured from the 11.5 down to here 40, and then I aid my line. I made it A. So I have 15.25 here. I have 17 here. This is how you cut. I forgot to mention, after coming down by 0.5 there, you're going to come up by 0.5 so that you can remark your seam allowance. Allowance is very important. I'm going to join it to this side. When join it to this side, so instead of cutting from this actual 0.5 you came down, you give it an extra allowance at the top so that you can join it to the waistband. So that's exactly what I did. Bear in mind, this will be having side pockets. To know where the pocket is going to sit, I would come down by 1 inch from the top of the fabric. I'm going to be notching it. So this is not the exact way to cut a basic fitted trouser. This is only going to apply for this type of trouser, because it already runs in excess in so many places. I have placed the front bodice on top of the back bodice. I came out by 2 inches here. Usually it gets up to 2.5. I did 2 because that's all my fabric can let me do. Then my front pattern, I came down by 3 and marked it, and then came out by 1 inch and marked it. So the next thing I'll do is to find 3 inches, and this was it. Why I'm doing that is to ensure that the sides, because these two sides will be joining together, and we want to ensure that we have a curve here and at the same time have these two sides reaching. So if it was 2.5 and we placed our 3, you notice that it curves more down. So I would advise you do 2.5 for yours, but I did 2 for mine. Now coming to the hip area, I marked it out. We came down by 1 inch at the waist area. I usually go up by 0.75 for me because I'm not hippie, but for an average bum, I'll say 1 inch. For a very hippie person, I'll say go up by 1.5 plus that 0.5 you went down by. So normally I go up by 0.75 plus this 0.5 I took out from the front is going to make it 1.2. So I'm going to go up by 1.2 and I'm going to be marking it here, right? That's it. And then I'm going to go in by, usually I go in by 1 inch, but my fabric is not enough. I have just 0.5 inches here. So I'm going to be going in by 0.5. So this is where our line for the back is going to start from. So from here, I'm going to be connecting it to here. So this is what I'll do. I'm going to place my ruler and connect it to this. Next is we're going to be landing here. That's 0.5 you took out here. We're going to replace it back here. Put it back. Also remember to notch your 1 inch for your pocket, because the pocket is going to be added to the front and the back. So what I'm going to advise you to do is add 0.5 inch allowance on the left hand side, and on the right, this 1 inch, you can add it all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm going to cut it. I will raise it up this way. So to cut my pocket, I have 12.75. You can use up to 14. Six point something, 6.5, and then the length is almost 9. The waistband, I'll be doing my waist divided by 4. There's 1.5 divided by 4, that's 7.8. I would add 0.5. I'm going to be cutting it out. For the back, we're going to repeat the same thing, but at the same time, we're going to give it ½ inch allowance so that we can use it to add the zip. This is my back pattern. I'll be sewing the crotch extension part, but I'll sew from this point all the way to the end. 0.5 round to the end. Now for the front, we're going to be joining crotch area with 0.5. Why we are leaving the back one open is because of the zip area. I went ahead to join the center crotch area. I also did same for the front part. Next thing, I'll pin the pocket. Remember we notched 1 inch from the top, right? So I'll pin the pocket from the 1 inch down for both sides of the back. Attach this other part to the front. This is the 1 inch. I place my pocket and then I pinned it down all the way to the end, and I'll do the same for the other side. Then I'll sew it down and then weave all the edges that need to be weaved. So I forgot to mention that you would use 0.25 to join the pockets to the main bodice. So this is what I'll be doing to get my pleats. Total waist to be 11.2 right now, but my actual waist is 31.5 divided by 4 plus 0.5 for my seam allowance. 0.5 is my seam allowance, so we need everything to total. We need it to total 8.2, so we have to take out 3 inches. We're going to mark 4, use our pin and pin it, or you can use your chalk. Mark 1.5 from that pin, and then another 1.5 and also pin it, and then have the pin meet each other with this other pin here. Pin it this way, and this center pin should face the crotch side. And when you're done, remeasure and ensure that it's actually your waist plus 0.5 inches that you have. So for the back part, you're almost going to do the same thing, but the only difference is you're going to mark out your 0.5 inch for the zip. You check and see what you have at your waist. You still have 11.2, so you're going to be taking out 3 inches. So mark 4, and then you mark 1.5, and then another 1.5, and then ensure the first and the last one meet each other this way, and the center one goes towards the zip side, and then you pin. You repeat for the other side. After you've done that for the back, this is my waistband. Remember, it's on fold. I'll place it directly on top this way and stitch using 0.5. I'll do the same for the other side of back and also for the front. I have attached the waistband to the main bodice for both the back, and then I weaved it. This is the front and this is the back. The pocket is the one joining 2 of them together. So we're going to place in the waistband to waistband, then we're going to pin round waistband to the pocket, to this next pocket, and down to the bottom. So I'm going to be using 0.5 to sew up to this point. When we get to the pocket side, using 0.25 to sew the pocket, the inside part, and then also this other side, and 0.25 to the end. It's same thing for the other side. For the middle part where the front crotch meets the back crotch, this is what I do. You carry the back crotch and you meet up with the front crotch. You pin it down, and then from this point you can now pin all the way to the end. Done joining the sides together and also the crotch area together, I'll be attaching my zip. So this is it. You're going to be placing it this way. Next thing we're going to be doing is flipping it this way. So the last thing we'll be doing is weaving everything, including the hem. I'm just going to weave the hem, right? I like the length as it is, so I'll just be weaving. I will trim this to equal, and then I'll weave the hem and weave everywhere inside, and then my pants is ready.